There you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's not a slow news day. It's an important day.
You obviously started with Cordero. He had a pretty nice day-to-day offensively, but special teams-wise, what do you anticipate now that you've got your hands on him at Wolverine this season?
Oh, we're excited about him. You know, we're really happy that he's on our roster. Obviously, in Minnesota, he was an outstanding returner, you know, and we feel like he can bring that to our table. He can also be a coverage guy for us on a punt team. You know, and then it always comes down to how much offense is he going to play. We want to try to keep our guys as fresh as possible and balance that with trying to get as many reps out of him as we can on the kicking game.
He's had a lot of game film to his name before he got here. You had a good feel for him, but still being up close to him, getting your hands on him, anything about him that has maybe surprised you at all?
You know, I don't know if it's surprise, but it's just reinforced what a good person he is, what a great work ethic he has, and he wants to be great, you know, which, shoot, that's 95% of the battle. So excited about having him here on our roster, and just happy that get to coach him every day.
Did you do a lot of work on him coming out of college?
Yes, yeah, definitely. You know, he was one of those guys that, you know, you just don't find guys that are that big, that fast, that talented, you know, and he was all that coming out, and he was one of those guys that every special teams coach wanted to have him on his roster.
There's lots of turnover on special teams pretty much every year and on a roster. But the degree to which you guys lost a lot of guys that were real core players for you, Andre Holmes, Trey, you know, there's so many of them that were good. Is this even a bit more extreme than you're used to, or is it usually like this?
You know, I think it's different for different years. You know, it's always an allocation of your resources, you know, and who you got to pay and who you can't pay. And so sometimes it gets to be more and sometimes it's less, you know. And so we do have a lot of turnover, which, you know, in one way we wish those guys were here because they were great fixtures for us on special teams and really did a nice job for us. And, you know, we'll miss them. But we also have some excitement here with some young guys, you know, and I think there's more of a attitude in our meetings that, hey, there's more jobs open and there's more guys fighting for those jobs, so we really get competitive practices, and that's half the battle to being a good football team.
What have you noticed about Janikowski in your time here? I mean,
You know,
he's such an established player by the time you arrive. What have you noticed about him in terms of being receptive to coaching?
That's exactly right. That's the one thing is he's very receptive to coaching. He's very coachable, you know, and I think it's his work ethic. You know, and guys don't stay in the league as long as he has without having a good work ethic. But until you get to actually coach him day to day, you see what this guy is all about. And there's a reason he's still playing at this level because he takes care of his body. He really works hard in practice. He wants to be good at his craft. And, you know, I can't say enough about him in that I've been fortunate. I've coached a lot of great kickers in my career. And this guy, you just put him in that list of guys because he's a great one.
This goes for all young players, but someone like Shalom, what's the significance for him to make an impact on special teams as he tries to earn a role on special teams as he tries to compete for a 53-man roster spot?
Well, you know, those kind of guys, that really is their way into the roster, is what you do in the kicking game and get noticed there, you know, and then hopefully you rise up and you play for us in the kicking game for 1 or 2 years, and then, man, you become a defensive starter, you know, or somehow you just find a role for yourself, and that's what he's trying to do right now. And again, he's one of those young guys that's really hungry, very coachable, really happy that he's on our roster.
Can you tell right away, very quickly, whether a guy's got real taste for special teams or if he doesn't? And
well,
sometimes if a guy doesn't look like he's really that into it to start, can they develop that, or is it not going to happen?
Oh, I think they can. I think there's always a factor of guys being realistic on what they are, what they're going to be on your roster, what their role is going to be. And some guys don't understand that early in their career. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are on our roster that think, you know, they're going to be lining up next to Khalil and telling him what's going on, you know, and that's probably not realistic. We'd like to have high goals, obviously, but guys have to figure out that, hey, this is my chance to get to be on this roster and get the chance to play and get to compete and to contribute on a good team.
So first impressions are not always
Not always. No. You know, we're out here. You know, we get excited about guys out here. And we're in our pajamas. You know, so let's wait till we get the pads on and we start hitting each other, and we'll find out who is a football player.
Yesterday you had a drill where the guys were running around in circles and they kind of sprint out. What does that drill show you?
Well, what we try to do there is in our coverage on our punt team, we try to tell guys based on who gets out first, who should go to the ball. And the next guy out, he plays leverage position, and the third guy out plays a wider leverage position. So we're trying to just do that in a controlled situation where there's no contact, but guys get the understanding of landmarks down the field.
Is that a drill you've been doing for a while? Or?
It is. Yeah, I've done it for a few years, yeah.
Another drill I wanted to ask, see if your puncher, your holder, he's working with tennis ball machine, firing at him.
Yes.
How long have you been doing that? And
you know, we started it over when I was at the 49ers. We started over there, and just felt like it's a good drill where it's like anything else. You know, if you get a smaller ball, it's a little bit harder. You get a bigger ball, it gets to be a little easier. So catching that tennis ball at a high rate of speed, you know, once you get to catch footballs, it seems pretty simple.
been effective, you found?
Excuse me?
It's been effective, you found?
I think so. You know, our holder Marquette's done a really good job. You know, he hasn't been a guy that dropped punts. You know, whether or not, you know, I don't know if there's any way you can basically put a value on it, but we feel like it's valuable, so that's why we do it.
What's the next step for Marquette? What do you see his development as far as year to year, this next year? What's next for him?
You know, a guy like that has the talent he has, it really comes down to consistency. Being consistent every day, being consistent every game, being consistent for all 4 quarters, you know, making the plays that are going to affect us positively in the game. And I think he's done a nice job of that since I've been here, of getting better at that every year, you know. And so that's what our goal always is. Punters are always, you know, you basically value it on what's your bad balls look like, you know, and can we live with those, you know. And I think he's eliminated a lot of those punts or those kicks where, you know, those don't show up as often. And that's a mark of a good player.
Do you have a stance like on his celebrations last year? Last year you got it.
Oh yeah, we have a stance. Yeah. We're not real thrilled with that, and he understands that. You know, I believe there was we had a stat the other day. There was 5 or 6 of those celebration penalties in the league, and 2 or more on our punter. So we got to make sure that doesn't happen.
Is there a line to straddle with him though, making sure that he's enjoying himself to make himself be his best, or do you want all that stuff?
No, we like guys to be themselves, you know, and I think everybody has a mindset how they play the game. Some guys are really focused and tight, nervous, you know, and there's other guys that are loose and relaxed, and I think he performs better that way. But there's always parameters, you know, and this guy's got to make sure he understands that we're going to play in those parameters.
Janikowski, 37, his leg is so darn strong over the course of his career. It seems like he's still effective in many regards. What do you see out of him at this stage?
You know, I don't see any drop-off. We've only done the kickoffs a couple times in the OTAs where we actually had him kick the ball off, and man, he still's got a powerful leg. You know, he's I don't see that being a weakness for him at all.
Pretty confident beyond 50, send him out there?
Oh yeah, he feels good about it. We feel good about it, and you know, I think a lot of that is your attitude, and he's got the leg to get it there. It's just putting it through the pipes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.